Well, hello, this is John Watts. I'm an Alabama consumer protection attorney. We're going to be answering another question today. The question is, who is Midland Funding and why am I being sued for an old credit card debt? Well, first we need to mention that Midland Funding is a debt buyer. This is a company that buys up, or at least allegedly buys up, old debt. And they don't buy one debt at a time. They'll buy $100 million worth of debt or $1 billion worth of debt. And they usually pay, it could be 2 cents on the dollar, 5 cents on the dollar, some very small amount. Well, what do they do in Alabama? They file 100 lawsuits a week in Alabama. It's just a staggering number of lawsuits. Sometimes you hear people in the media talk about there are too many lawsuits filed. They're talking about car wreck cases or lawsuits against companies. It's amazing they never mention the fact that you have these debt buyers buying up debt and then they file 100 lawsuits a week in Alabama. It's like 5,000 lawsuits a year. It's just amazing. So normally it's going to be the collection law firm of Holloway and Moxley. That's a large collection law firm out of Montgomery, Alabama. Sometimes it'll also be a law firm, used to be known as Zarzar and Schwartz, now it's Zarzar and Cunningham. At least for the people that have been hiring us, and we have a lot of people every month that hire us that have been sued by Midland, it seems like it's almost always Holloway and Moxley now, but that may adjust back and forth. Well, what else do they do? Well, either Midland Funding or it has this kind of sister company, and they really operate them as the same, Midland Credit Management. But one of those companies will be credit reporting on you. Yeah, I think in the last, 5 or 6 years, I probably have represented 300 or more folks in Alabama sued by Midland. Maybe 2 or 3 of those, there's not been credit reporting. So I have a lot of criticism about Midland Funding. But one thing I got to give them credit for is they are very diligent about credit reporting. They may get it wrong. They often do. But that's one thing you can count on them for good or bad. They will credit report. So what's your danger? Well, your biggest danger is not answering the lawsuit. So how do you know when to answer a lawsuit? Well, you start from the time that you're served. And we have other videos about what it means to be served. But just assume you were served on, September the 1st. Well, then you have 14 days, September 15, to answer. Or you have 30 days. So now we're rolling into basically October 1st. How do you know the difference? Here's the difference. If you were sued in small claims or district court, and it'll say that across the top of the lawsuit paper, then you have 14 days. The lawsuit papers themselves should tell you how long you have. But you can also look in the upper right-hand corner and you'll get the case number. And it'll have a DV, that stands for district court, district civil, or an SM, that's small claims, or a CV is circuit. Now, if you were sued in circuit court, you have 30 days to answer. This is where most people, vast majority of people, make a mistake and they end up getting a judgment. If you get a judgment, they can garnish your wages, about 25% of your take home. So imagine, for most of us, we can't adjust to, boom, 25% of our paycheck is gone. They can wipe out your bank accounts, put liens on any property you have. They can even force a sale of your home or other assets. So we definitely want to avoid a judgment, certainly a default judgment. Here's one of the biggest keys. Understand there's a difference in owing a debt and then that debt being owned. So let me tell you what I mean. If I have a Chase credit card and for whatever reason, good reason, bad reason, I stop paying on that Chase credit card and I get sued and somebody says, well, John, did you have a Chase credit card? Yes. Did you charge on it? Yes. Did you pay it off? No. So they've established that I owe the debt. Well, that's where Midland wants to stop it. They want to say, see, all right, we're done. See, he owes us. But here's the distinction. There's a big difference in me saying I owe on a credit card and Midland Funding owning the debt. Okay, so I'll give you a kind of crazy example. If you have a mortgage to Bank of America and I sue you and I say, now, isn't it true that you owe money on your house? And you say, absolutely. And I say, okay. And isn't it true that you haven't made a payment in 2 months? You say, yes, that's true. I go, well, there you go, Judge. They owe me. Judge would say, well, now, wait a minute, John. You proved that they have a debt and they owe a debt, but you haven't proved that you own it. See, that's the difference. Owing and owning are not the same. Now, Midland Funding will want to kind of jumble those together and say, well, if you owe the debt, then you owe us. Well, you only owe Midland if Midland owns the debt, and that is a huge problem for them, proving that. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. You have 5 options, and we have, I think it's like an hour and 20-minute video on this. I think we have a 24-minute video. We have all sorts of videos, articles, transcripts on this. Let me just tell you real quick. Option number 1, bankruptcy. Really unusual that this would be a good option, but occasionally it's a good option. Option number 2 is you fight the lawsuit on your own. District and small claims court, that's doable. Circuit court, pretty hard. Option number 3 is you settle the lawsuit. You're typically paying 50 cents on the dollar in a lump sum, or you're paying the whole thing over a period of time. Well, the 4th option is you hire a lawyer to fight. 5th option is you hire a lawyer to settle. Now, the downside of hiring lawyers, you got to pay a lawyer. The upside is, at least you shouldn't be hiring a lawyer if you don't think they're going to give you a better chance of being successful. I'll just tell you, when folks hire us with Midland, we have a very simple approach. We go to Midland, we say, do you want to go to trial? Or do you want to drop the case, get it off of our credit report? We pay you no money and you kill the debt. And we don't threaten them. We don't beg them. We just say, here's the option. You get to choose whichever one you want, Midland. And so just keep those in mind. Any of those options can be good. Normally, you get down to, once we chat with you, about 2 options. We say, you could do this one or do this one. Particularly in small claims and district court, a lot of it comes down to, do you want to spend time doing this yourself? And do you have the confidence to do it yourself? Or do you want to spend money and hire somebody that has done this hundreds and hundreds of times? There's no right or wrong answer there. You just have to decide what's best for you. All right, well, what should I do if I have questions about Midland Funding suing me in Alabama? Well, you're welcome to call us. Okay, we've got a phone number up here, 205-879-2447. You can go to alabamaconsumer.com. We have all sorts of articles, have a whole section on being sued by a debt buyer or a debt collector. And we have other video series. We have written materials we can send you. I mean, here's the bottom line. It's not a good thing to be sued by Midland Funding. They are a real company. The law firms that represent them, Holloway and then Zarzar, are real collection lawyers, and they will really sue you. They will really get a default judgment against you. They will really show up to trial. Now, their client may not, Midland may not, but the lawyers will. So you have to really take it seriously. But these are cases that can be won. You can win your case. And I can't think of a time where we did not have federal court lawsuits against Midland, all arising out of Midland sued our client, lost, and then we have sued Midland in federal court. I think as I'm recording this video, it's toward the end of September, we probably have, 4 or 5 federal court lawsuits against Midland. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 205-879-2447, alabamaconsumer.com. If you have questions, get with us, comments, you can put those below this video. You can like this video, you can share it. We'll be happy to help you any way that we can. And so appreciate you taking time to watch this video and look forward to hearing from you if there's any way we can help you. Okay, thanks a lot and have a great day.